Hi, I'm Selena from Annie's Bookstop of Worcester, and I'm here with Bill Murphy. And Bill is he is a self-help author. He has written this book called Thriving in the Storm, and it's 9 principles to help you overcome any adversity. And Bill, could you tell us exactly what your book is about?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, Selena, first of all. Um, there's really two concepts, and one is we're all capable of way more than we think we are. And it's how to get there. So that's one thing, and just recognizing that and going on that journey and figuring out how to achieve those goals that you never thought were possible. The second thing is really mentality. And we talk about three types of mentality. One mentality is the victim mentality, where you succumb to your circumstances no matter what happens in life. It could be a bad day at the office and you give in, or it could be more catastrophic and it railroads you. That's the victim mentality. The second mentality is a survivor mentality, and that's just, hey, I'm just going to wait for this storm to pass, and we'll get through it when it's done. And that's really not taking action to uh, rectify your situation. And then the third way is thriving mentality. So now, no matter what adversity, challenge, obstacle comes your way, you're going to be able to uh, take action to overcome that and still uh, move move at a higher level and achieve what you need to achieve. You're going to take immediate action. So you're not victim to your circumstance. You're not waiting for the situation to pass you by. You are going to thrive no matter what. And that's what's really the book is about.
So, what do you think draws readers to these kinds of books?
I think one is, if you're stuck, I hope not. I hope people don't have to pick it up because they're feeling stuck. But if they are feeling stuck, I think it's really a good way to help them get on track. There's some principles and exercises within the book that we put you through. You're gonna take action um, if you
Mhm.
follow some of the principles in the book. It could be somebody that needs a refresher or a reminder or a new way of looking at things, or just kind of having emotions that may not align with creativity. Now, what does that mean? If you're stuck, you could be feeling down, you could be feeling uh, sad, depressed, upset, angry, hostile, whatever. And that's not going to allow you to thrive, right? And then, so to get to that thriving mentality, you really want to be able to create. And the way you can create is, you start to feel feelings of gratitude. I'm so thankful for uh, my children, my family, my significant other, my career, my my home. Whatever it is, you start to feel those feelings. In addition to that, it comes joy, love, zest for life, enthusiasm, and now you're starting to feel euphoric feelings where it's much easier to get through um, a tough situation. So that's kind of where that goes.
Bill, what was the inspiration for your newest book, and what were the steps that you took to bring it from initial inspiration to your finished book?
Wow. The inspiration in the beginning was, we're all capable of so much more than we think we are. And, then it went a little bit of deep, it went deep into, my past and how it shaped me. And I was able to overcome a lot of different obstacles and circumstances in my life. And I wanted to help others that may have felt stuck, may have had a tough past and don't know where to go with it. Um, and so that was kind of the inspiration, and it's to help empower people to know that they're capable of way more than they ever thought possible.
Okay.
And
Now,
along that journey, Selena, was years and years of journaling. I've done a ton of journaling and note taking and just reviewing the day, reviewing moments. A lot of my journaling was a result of some of, after a workout or during a workout, when we talk about creativity, right? And a lot of these creative emotions comes during or after a workout where you get the endorphins and the adrenaline and the dopamine going, and you just get flooded with all these wonderful ideas, and those for the last 10-12 years were turning into notes and things that ended up in my journal.
that's interesting. So you took the information from your journal, and that's how you wrote your book?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Interesting. Um, so as things were right after things happened to you, that's when you journaled it?
No, I would journal in the morning, a lot of gratitude, a lot of, and then I would journal at night, gratitude and just what happened during the day or what I expected to get out of the day. I'd bookend it. So bookend I would call, if it's if journaling's part of your bookend, it's within the first or second waking hour, and the last hour that you're awake before you retire to bed. And that was kind of my book ending. And it was always a daily journal. I'd have a daily journal entry and a gratitude entry. And it only takes a few minutes. These aren't arduous tasks we want anybody to do. It's just, hey, what are you thankful for? What's going on? What were your wins for the day? What were your lessons for the day? Those are just simple things that that I put together, and it all went into some of the principles in the book.
Did you journal when you were younger to bring up the thoughts that you put in your book?
No, it's relatively in the last decade or so.
Okay.
The journaling, I've learned through lots of self-help and personal development books over the years that's a tried and true principle. So it took a while. I guess it was a late bloomer type thing, but started at probably late 20s, early 30s.
So did you do any kind of research when you were writing your book?
Research on how to write the book.
No, on the subject of your book?
I felt like there wasn't really much out there in this space. I mean, there's variations certainly, but in some of the principles that we talked about is I was just, the way I would say it is, I was an average guy with average talent that managed to have some nice success. And so it's not always talent that can bring you to the top. It's perseverance, it's will, it's discipline, it's the ability to get through tough times, and that's where that came from. And yeah, there's a lot of books on that, but I thought mine, I thought the way we structured it is a little bit different than many of the books that kind of get into that motivational piece of thriving.
So what made you decide to write a book, actually?
I really want to make a difference. In the last chapter, we talk about legacy, and like I said, I've experienced some success just through hard work, perseverance, discipline, and now I want to teach others how to do the same and model that. And because it's one thing to be successful, right, and have some success and get there, but it's another thing to be significant. And I think that significance is when you're able to share that with others, teach others, and help others to get there. So
Okay.
from success to significance, and it's part of the legacy piece.
So what else can we expect from you in the near future?
I'm trying to, well, we got some coursework coming out, that's
Oh,
related to the book. Just creating that thriving mentality, that should be launched in early 2023, first or second month there. Pretty excited about it. And we started a nonprofit called the Thrive Foundation, where we give back to those in need, and other charities that we support. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. And that's part of the significance piece that we talk about.
what did you consider the most challenging part of writing your book?
Uh, the most challenging part was just to figure out how to get organized with it, how to put it together. I had a lot of help. I had a lot of people work with me on editing. So
Mhm.
that was really, really tough. A tough piece, but I did a ton of research. You asked about research. I did a lot of research on that, and surrounded myself with some good people that could give me some feedback and edit in the form of editors. So I worked with some editors to put the content together in a nice structured way that made the best sense for the reader.
Hmm. Okay. Now, did you have any adventures? Did you have a favorite adventure while you were writing this book?
It was during COVID. It was
Oh,
quite
yeah,
a, it
that's
was
an
quite a, it
adventure.
was Selena, it was quite an adventure. So here's the thing that's happening now is, while I was putting this together, there were so many people struggling. And that's where we're talking about this thriving mentality. We weren't we're not consciously choosing to lay down and not put our feet on the floor in the morning. But when COVID hit and we're all in lockdown and nobody knows what to do, and I'm watching my poor kids, not be with, in high school and college, not be with their friends that they've seen, and not playing their sports, or, missing out on that part of life. I was like, wow, these kids are struggling. All these kids are struggling. And this, the all this, the athletics and the clubs and the community. And not only that, of course, the adults were struggling as well, not seeing everybody uh, during that time. But now I'm looking around, and you just, from a male perspective, there's so many. It's stereotypical for a male not to talk about mental health, and not to talk about being down or out or depressed or sad or anything like that. Like, grown men don't cry, that kind of thing. And so now you're seeing, well, you've always seen it, but you hear about when a celebrity or somebody really popular that takes their own life, and they're like, well, he seemed like he had everything. He was on top of the world, and this is so sad and tragic, and you just never know. But I think men have a hard time because of the stereotypes of being vulnerable and asking for help, and because we were told that we need to be tough. And it's great, you can be tough, but if you're vulnerable and you can get in touch with some of those feelings, then you're going to be more productive in
Mhm.
your own life. I believe so. I think it's really important right now. So that was the journey was COVID during the time.
That is some journey. Wow. So, what's the greatest lesson that you've learned thus far in your short writing career?
The greatest lesson is, um, now that this is in print, in writing, is I need to live every day, um, as if, I'm the teacher. So there's days where I don't feel like necessarily getting out of bed and hitting snooze, and be like, what, I just wrote a book on this, and I practice these principles, and I need to get up. I need to be productive. I need to set an example, because I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I'm talking about and helping people do something, if I'm not living what I'm talking about, and doing and helping people thrive and succeed and develop that mentality where they're on top of the world. That's
Wow.
my lesson.
Okay. So what piece of advice would you give to other writers? I guess in terms of other writers that are doing self-help books in particular.
Research your topics. I would research, I researched every topic, as even as it's unique to them writing about it. I would just get as much research as possible. I mean, the internet is perfectly fine. Read a lot of books on what you want to write. That's really helped me. Those books I didn't think I would ever read, and I read them because I may have had some of those principles that were similar. So I read a lot of books. I'm an Audible guy too, so I listen to a lot of books on various topics and subjects that I'm interested in um, sharing my expertise on, with a different perspective. Just get different perspectives on anything you want to convey.
Mm-hmm. Good ideas. Now I have some questions about you as a person. What's one thing that most people don't realize about you?
Uh, I'm softening up. I was a pretty. I lived with a lot of angst. I lived with a lot of pressure. I lived with a lot of high stress. And over the years, and this was the other piece, was learning to enjoy the journeys and learning to take the deep breath and learning to not white knuckle everything and be okay. Just breathe and focus on the present. And so, I would say a lot of people that knew me over the years were just like, oh, he's a full charging, hard nosed guy to the grindstone person, and I'm able to kind of turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on before I had full throttle at all times. No, that's not good for my health. That wasn't good for me to carry some of that angst into the house with the kids and things of that. And so that was kind of the change. And also on the same token is been a little bit more vulnerable. Been sharing because I've been sharing about men's mental health, and that's something that I've always, my whole life was keep that close, keep that in. Nobody needs to know. So the vulnerability piece, and I think that's healthy. And we just talked about that. You
Yeah.
see celebrities, and a lot of men don't want to talk about it. And I think if they're able to get in touch with that and get the help, or get coached, or get therapy, or talk to the right people, I think that can save a lot of lives.
I think that would certainly help with a lot of the angst that a lot of young men are going through,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it would be wonderful to stop some of these horrible things that are happening. Yeah.
sure,
So
absolutely.
so you've changed a lot through the years. I mean, has writing this book changed you?
Um, just more practicing. I think I was ready. But like, I think we're changing every day. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? So
Yeah.
we can't be stuck in our ways. We always got to be evolving and looking to get better. And so, yeah, it was part of the process. But I don't think it's changed me, because I've been working on changing for the better every single day anyway.
Hmm. So how long did it take you to write this book?
About 10 months. 10 months.
Okay. So what is or are your passions when you're not writing? And how do you make time to do all the things that you love?
Yeah, thank you. Well, my passions are, I'm an extreme sports endurance athlete. I do Ironmans and marathons, ultra marathons. I get a second degree black belt in martial arts. I love the outdoors. I love to work out. I love the weights. Been doing that for years. I love coaching, so I do a lot of coaching. I was coaching my kids in all their sports, and now I actually, coach professionals. life and business. Love to get to the beach, especially in the winter in New England. Try to get on south if I can. So, um, just these passions, these other things keep you grounded. It keeps you alive to look forward to. I'm looking for, I look forward to doing different things with some of the things in my lifestyle right now.
Mm-hmm. Great. So what does your writing space look like, and what do you need to have around you when you're writing or editing?
I'm just at my desk. I'm at my desk, and I usually have three monitors, and one monitor will be some research, and another monitor may be a YouTube video on a subject, or when we write our blogs, or I'll be consulting with somebody. I'll set some time up to do some consulting with somebody that on a blog we're working on. Do a lot of videos on some of these topics.
Uh-huh. Okay. And when you're writing, do you prefer music or silence?
Silence.
Silence.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it quiet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Writers often have furry or feathered or otherwise non-human companions to either help them or hinder them with their work. And do you have any of those?
Yeah, I have a furry companion. My dog Zoe. She leaves me alone. um, except when I'm out from behind the desk. I don't know. That's her deal. My golden retriever. So she's wonderful. But yeah, and the kids, like I said, I got two in college and one in high school. So a lot of the time when I'm writing, the house is quiet.
Yeah. Okay. And so anyway, I just have two more questions for you.
Sure.
One is where can people find you, find your work? And this is aside from Annie's Bookstop of Worcester, and this is where I plug Annie's. And you can always you can you can get Bill's work or Bill's book at Annie's Bookstop of Worcester by calling us at 508-796-5613, or you can visit us at 65 James Street in Worcester, or you can email us at orders@anniesbooksworcester.com. So where else can people find your book?
On my website, thrivinginthestorm.com is probably a great place to find me. I'm on all social media platforms. You can look up Thriving in the Storm or Bill Murphy, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram.
Okay. And my last question is, how can we follow your work and share your awesomeness? You just mentioned it, so you already answered the question.
Sure.
Okay. Well, since you're a local author, we hope that we'll be seeing you at Annie's.
Yeah, I'd
And
love to come down and sign some books.
yeah, maybe we can have a book signing sometime in the
Certainly,
new
I'd love
year.
that. I love
Okay,
that.
well, thanks very much for joining me, and
Thanks, Selena.
good luck with your book, Thriving in the Storm.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Bill Murphy.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.